Poland is an Eastern European country, so it likely shares the same culture and history as other countries in that region, such as Russia. But what really is it like over there?
Hold on. Before you make any assumptions about Poland, there's something you absolutely need to know. Did you know that calling Poland Eastern Europe could be a major blunder that could offend locals? If you want to avoid this common mistake and learn why this label doesn't sit well with many Poles, stick around. In this video, we're diving into the surprising reasons why Poland is proud to be known as Central Europe and how understanding this can totally change the way you experience the country. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Number 1. Historical context. The reluctance of Poles to be labeled as Eastern Europeans is deeply rooted in the historical experiences of the country. Particularly during the 20th century, for much of that time, the term Eastern Europe became synonymous with the countries that were under Soviet influence during the Cold War. Poland, despite its rich and distinct history, was grouped with other nations behind the Iron Curtain, and this association with Soviet domination is something many Poles are eager to move beyond. For centuries, Poland was not only geographically central to Europe, but also a major player in European affairs. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which existed from the 16th to the 18th century, was one of the largest and most powerful states in Europe. It had strong cultural, political, and economic ties with Western Europe, particularly through its engagement in the Renaissance, its legal innovations, and its role in defending Europe from external threats like the Ottoman Empire. When people refer to Poland as Eastern Europe, it tends to overshadow this border and more complex historical narrative. It can feel reductive, as if Poland's identity is solely defined by its more recent history under Soviet influence, rather than by its centuries of contributions to European culture and politics. Moreover, for Poles, the term Eastern Europe often evokes memories of a time when their country was not truly independent, when it was part of a bloc that was politically and economically dominated by the Soviet Union. The association with this period of oppression and lack of sovereignty is understandably something many Poles prefer to distance themselves from. Number 2. Cultural identity. Poles often resist the label of Eastern Europeans because it doesn't fully capture the cultural identity they feel connected to. Poland's cultural roots are deeply intertwined with Western and Central European traditions, and many Poles see themselves as part of this border of cultural and historical landscape rather than fitting into a simplistic Eastern European category. Throughout history, Poland has been a significant contributor to European culture, art, and intellectual life. The country was a vibrant part of the Renaissance, with its cities like Kraków becoming centers of learning and culture. Polish thinkers, artists, and scientists have made substantial contributions to European civilization, such as Copernicus, who revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos, and Chopin, whose music is celebrated worldwide. When people refer to Poland as Eastern Europe, it can feel like these rich cultural connections are being overlooked or even dismissed. The label often comes with a set of stereotypes: underdevelopment, poverty, that really don't reflect the true diversity and sophistication of Polish culture. For many Poles, these stereotypes are not just inaccurate, but also unfair, as they reduce a complex, thriving culture to a few outdated cliches. Moreover, Poland's cultural identity has always been more aligned with Western Europe than with what many perceive as Eastern cultural norms. Polish society values traditions like strong academic institutions, a vibrant art scene, and a deep connection to European intellectual movements. These elements are more closely related to the cultural life in countries like Germany, France, and Italy than to the more simplistic, often negative portrayals of Eastern Europe. Number 3. Geopolitical considerations. Poles often prefer to be identified as Central Europeans due to the geopolitical implications of the Eastern European label. Geographically and politically, Poland has long been positioned at the crossroads of Europe, and its strategic importance has shaped its history and identity. However, during the Cold War, Poland was grouped into the Eastern Bloc under Soviet influence, a classification that lingers even though the world has changed significantly since then. Today, Poland is a proud member of the European Union and NATO, both of which are key Western institutions. These alliances reflect Poland's commitment to the principles of democracy, human rights, and economic cooperation that are central to the broader European community. By referring to Poland as Eastern Europe, there is a risk of reinforcing an outdated geopolitical division that no longer aligns with the country's current position in the world. Geographically, Poland sits in the heart of Europe, bordered by Germany to the west, Ukraine to the east, and the Baltic Sea to the north. Its central location has made it a vital player in European affairs, particularly in fostering economic and political ties between Western and Eastern Europe. Identifying as Central European is a way for Poles to emphasize their role as a bridge between these two parts of the continent, rather than being pigeonholed into a category that suggests they are on the periphery. Furthermore, the label Eastern Europe is often associated with the political and economic systems that prevailed under Soviet rule, systems that Poland has worked hard to overcome since regaining its independence in 1989. The country's integration into the EU and NATO has been part of a deliberate effort to reorient itself towards the West, both politically and economically. For many Poles, being called Eastern European feels like a step backward, as it seems to ignore the progress Poland has made in aligning itself with Western Europe. Number 4. National pride. National pride plays a significant role in why Poles often resist the label Eastern Europeans. For centuries, Poland has been a country of resilience, enduring numerous challenges that have shaped its identity and strengthened its sense of pride. From surviving partitions and invasions to overcoming the hardships of World War II and the oppressive Soviet regime, Poland's history is marked by a steadfast determination to maintain its sovereignty and cultural identity. For many Poles, being labeled as Eastern European feels like a reduction of this complex and proud history. The term is often associated with a period when Poland was not truly free, when it was grouped with other nations under Soviet control, stripped of its independence, and forced to adopt a system that was not of its choosing. This period, while a significant chapter in Poland's history, does not define the entirety of the Polish experience or its contributions to Europe. Poland's national pride is deeply rooted in its long history as a major European power. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, for example, was once one of the largest and most influential states in Europe, known for its unique system of golden liberty, which allowed for a high degree of political freedom and was ahead of its time in many ways. This legacy is a source of pride for many Poles, who see their country as an integral part of the European story, not just as a footnote in the history of Eastern Europe. Moreover, Poland's role in key historical events, such as its resistance against the Nazi invasion during World War II and its pivotal role in the fall of communism in Central and Eastern Europe, are points of pride that Poles feel deserve recognition on the broader European stage. The Solidarity movement, led by figures like Lech Wałęsa, was instrumental in bringing down the Iron Curtain, inspiring other nations to fight for their freedom. This contribution to European and global history is another reason why Poles feel that their country should be seen as more than just Eastern European. To wrap it all up, Many Poles prefer to be identified as Central Europeans rather than Eastern Europeans. This isn't just a matter of geography, it's about reflecting their rich history, cultural identity, and where they see themselves within Europe today. The term Eastern Europe often feels like it's stuck in the Cold War past, while Central Europe better captures the modern Polish identity. What do you think? Is Poland more Central European or Eastern European in your view? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next video. Bye guys.